Hey, this is Courtney Branch. I was just dropping off some milk. Okay, thank you. Hey guys, what is up? Welcome back to the channel. It is currently Tuesday, March the 15th, 2022. I am officially 4 days postpartum after giving birth to our little Lyla, who was born on March the 11th at 34 weeks and 6 days pregnant. It has been a whirlwind. I've started this vlog several different times. Also forgot to mention, I'm in a courtesy room here at the hospital, so I have been discharged since Sunday. I had her Friday, I got discharged on Sunday. I am no longer a patient here, so no nurse comes and checks on me, and no doctor comes in here to see me. I'm allowed to have unlimited visitors, and I can technically come and go as I please. I do not have to stay here if I don't want to. This is just a place where I can be for when I come to visit her. If I do want to spend the night here, I can. That's been really nice, actually getting to rest and not have people come take my vitals. It's been actually really nice. I'm very thankful to be like literally 10 steps from the NICU. I can take my milk. So I'm staying here while Logan is back at work, but we can come and go, like I said, so I will probably go home this weekend. I still have access here, like we can come chill here in between us seeing her. I'm gonna make sure I give as many details as I can about my experience to help somebody else out. Honestly, it's been both good and bad. I would be lying if I said that we have not had very hard days where Logan and I would get frustrated with the process, frustrated with each other, just really dealing with a whole bunch of emotions. Never really thought about postpartum hormones, but they are definitely a thing. It is not easy going from having a baby in your belly to delivering your baby to not being able to be with your baby 24/7 and hold your baby, and there's just a lot of things that go into being a NICU mom. I just want to encourage anybody out there that has a baby that has to go there. You always have to remember it is what's best for the baby. It is so extremely hard. I would love to get into our journey. I guess I'll go ahead and start with just how recovery has been from the C-section. It's been weird. Honestly, I feel like it's gone really well compared to just all of the videos that I watched. I've been doing great. I feel great. I did have one really bad night. So the first night after I had her, you guys saw where Logan went to the NICU to see her, but I never actually inserted a picture. So just to show the progress that this girl has made. This is the very first time I got to see Lyla. This is just a FaceTime screenshot. This is the first picture that I ever saw of Lyla. Obviously loved her so much. Obviously was very scared and intimidated to see my baby hooked up to all of that stuff. She's just so tiny that everything on her made her look scary. I guess not the ideal picture of what you'd want your newborn to look like just compared to everybody else that has a normal pregnancy and normal delivery, you know. I did end up going to see her in the NICU that night. Logan wheeled me all the way down to the NICU, and I did get to see her for the first time. She was under the blue light therapy. She had a little eye mask over her eyes. I got to touch her hand. She's on what's called a minimal stimulation restriction, and basically what that means is, you know, obviously with her being born at 34 weeks and 6 days, her lungs are not fully developed yet. The way that the neonatal doctor described it, and it makes sense, you know, for the last almost 9 months she was in my belly, so she knows my voice, she knows Logan's voice, she's used to smelling me, and now she's all of a sudden not in me, and she's in this NICU. Babies hear and smell better than we do as adults, especially since she was under the blue light. She also had an eye mask over her eyes, so she literally cannot see. She is hearing people that she's never heard before. She is smelling all kinds of weird smells, and also she can't see what's going on, so she really relies right now on touch. All she can feel are when people are touching her or changing a monitor, adjusting a tube or something like that, and so the doctor says that it can be very overstimulating to a baby so little. The frustrating part with her being so little and so premature in the lungs, their fear was if we were to go in there and just hug her and rub her and touch her all over, we could put her lungs, since she's already kind of freaked out being somewhere other than in my belly. They didn't want us to overstimulate her. Her lungs would, you know, start to go too fast or too slow. They want everything to be steady so that she can steadily progress to coming home with us. All we were allowed to do for the first day or so was just literally put our finger inside her little palm, and if she grabbed onto it, that was pretty much the only thing they really wanted us to do at that point. All I could do is see this little tiny thing under a blue light, wrapped up kind of like a mummy on her face with her little CPAP and stuff, and just let her hold my finger, try to talk to her and say, you know, Mama's here, let her know that I was there, but not being able to really touch her anywhere else was very hard for me. I kind of expected it because, you know, we were told all of these things about her being a premature baby, but, you know, the mom and me wanted to hold her so bad or just kiss her and tell her that I loved her, but literally all I got was a finger squeeze. So that was day 1. Day 2 was a hard day for me. I was trying to start to breastfeed or pump. When I went over it with the lactation consultant right after she was born, I did pretty good for the first day, I would say. Also have to remember, she was born right at almost 35 weeks gestation. My body's not even supposed to be able to do this for 5 more weeks, okay? Like, I was not even leaking before I had her. I mean, nothing. So, you know, I felt pretty good after day 1, the fact that I was able to get anything out. Of course, it was straight colostrum, but day 2 came around and I was so bent and determined to continue and just get better. Well, day 2, I got worse. I would literally sit there and pump for like 1 to 2 hours. I was doing the manual breast stimulation. I would maybe get 1 or 2 drops. Like, we were literally drawing it up in tiny little syringes. That was all I was getting, and I was trying and trying and trying, and I could not get it down, which is just frustrating. They can always supplemental feed her with formula, but it's something that I wanted to do for her. I kept at it. It was very uncomfortable for me. But I kept trying, still just getting 1 to 2 drops, getting frustrated, and the neonatal doctor had actually told me that she was tolerating feeds through her little feeding tube with my breast milk better than the formula, so they were really trying to encourage me to pump as much as possible. So I was just extremely frustrated that I could not get it down, and this is just a God thing because, so that was day 2 postpartum. Day 3, I actually started praying about it. Yes, I prayed that God would help me breastfeed and be able to produce milk for my baby. And slowly but surely on day 3, I was able to get like an ounce out of each breast, which is crazy for only being 3 days postpartum when you're 5 weeks early. And each time I would be able to do half an ounce more. And it started at day 3 like that, like I said. Just in day 3 alone, I went from 1 ounce to 2.5 ounces by the end of the day. No idea what happened. Like, literally, that's the thing. I went from colostrum to breast milk literally in 24 hours because I prayed about it. And every time I would pump, especially late at night in the morning when I'm here by myself, I would pump to worship music. I would just pray out loud, God, please help me be able to feed my baby. Please help me to be able to feed my baby. And guys, I'm just saying, hang on, I've got to show you. I just did this. Y'all, this is a 4-ounce bottle, a 4-ounce infant newborn bottle. This is what I have at home for her when she comes home. This is 4 ounces that I just did in about an hour, so about 30 minutes on each side, and I'm up to 4 ounces every time I pump. To gain weight at this point, Lyla eats around 9 ounces a day. So the fact that in one session I can give her almost half of her food for an entire day, that can't be explained. This is breast milk that came out of me 4 days after having my 5-week premature baby. And I'm just so thankful. This is all God. I love that I can feed her and nourish her. And since I've been able to start doing this better, she has thrived so much, y'all. Can't even begin to explain it. So that was day 3. I started to be able to produce the breast milk. Day 3, we go into the NICU. We're sitting there and still under the blue light. And our nurse that day was just so awesome. And she said, would you guys like to see her face? Yes, we would love to see her face. So she actually turned the blue light off, unwrapped her little face mask so we could see her face. And that's the first time I got to see her not look like a mummy or a tanning bed. I got to see like my baby, like my actual human baby. And that, I will literally never forget that moment. That nurse was awesome because she let her stay off of that for like 45 minutes. I just got to look at her. I couldn't take my eyes off of her. Of course, I was very emotional. I feel like I cry a lot more anyway, just with postpartum hormones. Getting to just sit there and look at her sweet face, like, it made her so much more real to me because all I had seen her was looking like a little mummy. And I loved her. I loved her from the moment I saw her. I loved her from the moment I first heard her cry in the C-section when I didn't even get to see her. I just heard her and I loved her. But getting to see her literally changed my perspective on this whole thing because then she was my baby. She was mine. And I think that you guys have gathered by now that Logan and I are a Christian family. We do believe in God, that He's created Lyla and He has made her, and just the amount of times that we've gotten frustrated and just stopped and prayed, God has responded in every single way so specifically to what we have asked that we cannot attribute any of her progress that she's made so far to anybody but God. But y'all, she is perfect. She is the best of Logan and the best of me combined, and we cannot believe we've made such a beautiful little girl. She is so cute. The amount of progress that she's made in 4 days of life is absolutely just mind-blowing. She just continues to hit every single milestone and obstacle that they give her, or goal that they give her. She just blows right past it. And then we come into day 4, which is today. She continues to make good progress. So I was in here this morning at about 4:30 pumping milk. And like I said, Logan and I are just such strong believers. We've had to rely on God so much throughout this process. I cannot imagine not being a Christian and going through this. I was listening to a worship playlist, just pumping and so tired. And I normally don't pray out loud. I'm somebody that feels like, God knows my heart and I can think things and I can think my prayers. But sometimes just sitting here in the silence, it does get kind of lonely. So I was listening to this playlist and I started praying out loud to God. And first I just thanked Him that she is here. We are in Alabama. We are by our friends and our family, and Logan is here. She was born here. We can see her every day, multiple times a day here. Just thanked Him for her. Thanked Him for just the fact that she didn't need to be intubated when she came out, the fact that she was already on this room air and on this CPAP, and I don't know, just for all the progress. I thanked Him for that. I thanked Him for the breast milk thing. And then I kind of got in a little heart-to-heart with God. I basically said, God, I know that You're in control of her. You are literally the one that puts breath in her little lungs, the one that helps her gain weight and controls every single body system that she is in this NICU for. And, I'm just so thankful that we got to see her face last night. I'm just so thankful that she's been doing well on the CPAP and not having to go backwards or on oxygen or anything like that. She's literally just been doing so great. And I said, but after seeing her face, I said, I need to hold my baby. I need to hold her. I want to hold her. I want to be able to touch her. Sorry, I cry so much. I told you all that. I said, I'm so thankful for where we are. I said, but I need a little bit more. I want more. I want more of her. The next step in us getting to be able to hold her would be for her to lose her CPAP and go to just a nasal cannula, high flow air. The doctor literally says, well, today is a huge day for your baby. And I was a little nervous. And I kind of thought, well, maybe he'll say one thing or maybe two things, or if she does well today, then we'll see about taking her off. Well, he literally looked right at me and he said, we're going to take her off that CPAP today and we're going to have the cannula on her. And then he said, and we're going to discontinue her phototherapy, so she will not have any more eye mask on. She's not going to have the thing over her nose. She's just going to have her little nasal cannula and her little feeding tube. And that's it on my baby. That is it. She's just feeding. She's feeding and continuing to have her lungs develop. My 5-week premature baby has no other problem except to gain weight and to stay on this nasal cannula while her lungs continue to improve. So that means that the next time I go visit her to take her some milk, they're going to let me hold her. It's literally word for word what I prayed for. Word for word what I prayed for. So excited. I could not wait to call Logan and tell him. He's going to let me hold her first. He said, because he's going to come after work tonight. And so I asked him, I was like, do you want me to wait for you to hold her? And he said, no, you go ahead and hold her while we have the nurse here that we really like. So I'm just so excited to go back in there in just a minute. I'm going to hold her for the first time today. Yeah, so I showed you guys the picture of what she looked like 4 days ago when she first got into the NICU. And when I went and took the last batch of milk, this is what she looked like. Y'all, she's so cute. This is what she looks like. And so yeah, here we are on March the 15th, 2022, and I'm going to hold my baby for the first time today. And she's perfect, and she's precious, and she's everything to Logan and I. And honestly, now that we're at this point, the NICU's not so bad. And having a premature baby that we were told so many things that could go wrong with her, There's nothing wrong with her. She's perfect. She's fearfully and wonderfully made by God. She's the best of Logan and the best of me and this cute little human. We're just so thankful. So I want to encourage anybody whose baby is in the NICU, keep going. Visit your baby. Talk to them. They're your baby. They know when you're in there. They know when mama and daddy are there. They can sense your presence. You're all they know. In a time where they're spending their first few days hearing all these beeps and sounds and touches that they're not familiar with, they know when you're there. So as hard as it is, be there for your baby. Pray and know that God hears your struggle. He hears your prayers. He's there with your baby when you're not, and he's with you when you're in your room by yourself and you feel so alone. Just trust the process and trust your doctors. I wish that she would have been on the nasal cannula yesterday, but now that she's on the nasal cannula, I don't care. I'm glad she had the extra day of rest at the same setting because now I'm going to get to hold her today. I would have hated to hold her yesterday and her not do well overnight and then be back on, just trust the process, trust God, celebrate every small moment. Like, I will never forget the moment I got to see her face. I'm never going to forget the moment that I'm about to hold my daughter. I will never forget, how God just helped this person that had a baby 5 weeks early be able to produce breast milk within 3 days. I mean, y'all, God is so good. We're so thankful. That is our first 4 days in the NICU. I'm doing great with my recovery. I don't even care about any kind of soreness I have from the C-section. She was worth it. My experience with the C-section recovery has been great. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. I know it was kind of all over the place. Honestly, the last 4 days have been a blur for me. It's just been a lot of emotions and processing. So it's okay to cry and it's okay to be sad. Nobody really gets to understand that unless you've been through a NICU experience. I just want you to know that we're going through a NICU experience, and Logan and I understand any kind of worry or hurt or anxiety that you have. You're not alone. So we are still here in the NICU. I do plan on vlogging more. I would love to get clips of us holding her for the first time. It's the progress that she makes throughout the rest of the week, but I did want to go ahead and hop on and just let you know about our first few days and let you know where we stand with our little Lyla. Please give the video a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe. Stick around for more cute little Lyla content, and I can't wait to take my baby girl home. We'll see when we get to do that, but for right now, in this moment, we are good. We'll see y'all in the next video. Bye, guys.